Very good afternoon to everyone. Professor Balasubramanian ji, the speaker of the day, and all the participants from across the various platforms. Very good afternoon once again. I'm really very happy to be part of this knowledge sharing session by the Association of Indian Management Schools. Friends, in the annals of management education sector, 27th August 1988 should be remembered as a great landmark, as it was on this day the Association of Indian Management Schools, AIMS, a highly impact-making networking body, was born. It has the strong support of about 550 high-ranking business schools as its members and is one of the largest networking bodies in the world. It is an umbrella organization for the management institutions. The AIMS has been involved in protecting the interests of management institutions from the vagaries of restrictive governmental regulations. It is also involved in professionalization of management education, creation and dissemination of management-related knowledge through its various activities like roundtables for deans, directors, faculty, and student development events, organizing conventions, national and international level seminars and workshops, also publication and distribution of AIMS Journal of Management. And moreover, AIMS also is funding the research projects and providing financial assistance to its member institutions. Of late, there has been a spurt in diversifying into new activities for the benefit of deans, directors, researchers, faculty, and students in the shape of inspiring young leaders and knowledge-sharing sessions, at least one each every week. These new initiatives are fascinating to many faculty and young minds of the students. And we are very happy to have a seasoned management professional today with us. He is none other than Professor Balasubramanian. Friends, Professor Balasubramanian is currently the director of GRG Center for Advanced Studies, Coimbatore. He also holds additional responsibility as the director, Office of the International Relations at PSGR Krishnammal College for Women. He is a graduate in mechanical engineering from the University of Madras and completed his post-graduation program from IIM Calcutta. He is a fellow of the All India Management Association also. He has over 50 years of professional experience. For the first 30 years after graduation, he held several executive positions in private and public sector industries, including L&T, PHEL, Paris, and Vatsila Corporation, both in India and abroad. Friends, Professor Balasubramanian joined the academia in 1999-2000. Prior to joining the GRG institutions in February 2007, he was a professor at TAPMI, Manipal. Professor Bala is actively involved in management education, training, consulting, etc. His academic interests are in the fields of business leadership and strategy. He has conducted over 200 highly rated training programs for 60 plus organizations and designed and delivered 30 plus faculty development programs. He has been a resource person for numerous sessions on business leadership, strategic management, building a visionary organization, and time management. Friends, he has delivered over 250 keynote talks and chaired many sessions on higher education. He is the author of a widely acclaimed book titled The Art of Business Leadership, Indian Experiences, New Delhi, Sales Publications in 2007. Friends, he has also authored several white papers on Management Education and Industry Institute Interaction for IMA, CII, and other professional associations. Friends, he has actively served as a member of the Council of Management of All India Management Association, IMA, and the Management Committee of Coimbatore Management Association, and he is still continuing to serve on the education panel of CII Southern Region and CII Coimbatore Zone. Friends, with this illustrious profile, I am sure he is going to make an impact on among all the participants today about the leadership, how the transformation of leadership in the changing times. I think the topic itself is a question for everyone. I think there are so many, alternatives and solutions and very important thoughts being shared by Professor Bala sir today. Now, Bala sir, the floor is open to you.
Thank you very much, Prasada Rao. It has been very, very kind of you, generous of you, magnanimous of you to say those kind words about me. I also see my good friend Narayan Reddy there.
Yes, sir. He is on mute.
Yes, he is on mute. Thank you very much. I think I must thank AIMS, first of all, for this opportunity. I must thank all of you who are here. I see the number as exceeding 60. 60 people are attending this point of time. Thank you very much. If you don't follow what I'm saying, if you don't understand some of the concepts, if you don't agree with some of those concepts, please feel free to stop me at any time. We can interact. The purpose is to interact. The purpose is to exchange ideas, exchange perspectives, exchange knowledge, exchange experiences. That is the purpose of this session. I will take approximately 30 minutes. I'm going to use a set of PowerPoint presentation slides just as a prompter. But essentially, I'll be mainly interacting and discussing some of those ideas. I'll just share my screen. All right, so that is what I'm going to do. Leadership challenges in times of change. So the first question that comes to my mind is, are we changing? Is the environment around us changing? What are those changes which are happening in the environment? That is what we would like to see first. And for the ease of understanding, I've divided the changes into different aspects. I'm taking, for simplicity purpose, I'm taking the changes in political, in economic, in socio-cultural, as well as technological. What we popularly call the best: political, economic, socio-cultural, and technological. And each one of those I'll go through at the moment. If you look at political, in my view, you will find that there have been lots and lots of changes over the past, let us say, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. There have been changes in ideology. Some people say that probably there has been conditions, there have been contexts in which there was no ideology whatsoever. From a hardcore ideology to no ideology, and then moving back into a core ideology. This has been happening over the past 50, 60 years. The structure of the government itself has undergone a change. There are national parties. For example, if you look back about 30 years ago, probably until 1975 and 76 and 77, you never had a non-Congress government at the center. It was in 1977 for the first time you had a non-Congress government at the center. And after that, there have been so many changes. And today, since 2014, you will find that there is a BJP-led government, a coalition government. And you will also find that there is an emergence of the regional parties. Whether you talk about Tamil Nadu or you talk about West Bengal or Maharashtra or Odisha or even Bihar, for example. Now, all these states, you will find there has been an emergence of the regional parties. And that is becoming a way of life. You cannot wish it away. You may not like it, but you cannot wish it away. There is the presence of regional parties. And therefore, you will find that in the political arena, in the political environment, in the political context, there have been lots and lots of changes which have happened. It's my view that in future, there will not be any single party government. It has to be a coalition government. Multiple parties will come together. Maybe there will be one party which will lead it, which will have a greater majority, but the governance itself will be a multitude of parties coming together. There will be a coalition government. And that is what I foresee for the future. Now, when all these changes are happening, it is but natural that you will find that the leadership in the country also has to change. The leadership attributes, as we studied in management long, long ago, those attributes may or may not be relevant. Probably that also needs to change. So this is one dimension in terms of political scenario. If you talk about the economic scenario, all of us are aware. For example, in 1947, at the time of independence, it is said that India's contribution to the world trade was something close to about 26%. 26%. And today, India's contribution to the world trade is less than 2%. So there has been a change. If you look at the growth rate per annum, you will find that before 1991, we had something called the Hindu rate of growth, which was around 3.5, 4%. We used to call it the Hindu rate of growth. The GDP growth after that, after 1991, has been hovering around 5%, 6%, 7%. And during 2004 to 2011, we grew almost at an average of 8.5%. We also touched 9% growth. So there has been a GDP growth which has happened. And I believe that even though experts are predicting that it will not go beyond 5.5 for this year, 23-24, even that represents higher. And it is predicted that India will become probably the second or the third largest economy in the world. And we want to be touching a 5 trillion economy by 2025. So that is on one side. The 1991 liberalization, now people call it the LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization, which was introduced by Dr. Manmohan Singh and Narasimha Rao in 1991, that has irrevocably changed the economic platform in the country. The economic context has completely changed, and that is here to stay. The very purpose why the liberalization became important, essential, critical in 1991, namely the foreign exchange shortage. We hardly had foreign exchange for 2 weeks of imports at that time in 1991. Today, you are sitting on top of a foreign exchange reserve of close to about 600 billion US dollars. So the foreign exchange, today you have plenty of money. There are no restrictions in terms of how much money you can carry abroad, how much money you can convert into, let's say, US dollars and things like that. There has been a tremendous change. Now, even if you take the standard of living, the per capita income in the country, per capita income, has also gone up. Today, we can say that we are reasonably placed, though we are still considered a developing country. You will find that our per capita income has risen over the years. So, on the economic front, there have been many changes. This is the second dimension. The third dimension is the socio-cultural dimension. Whether you talk about the famous demographic dividend, people say that the population in the age group of 15 to 35, if you take that young population, that will constitute almost 60% of India. You're looking at something close to about 650 million people in that age group of 15 to 25. And by the year 2025, 2030, that is expected to even increase further. And they call it the demographic dividend. You have a young population. If you look at China, if you look at Europe, if you look at United States, they are all the aging population. People above 60, people above maybe 70. That is increasing. Probably by 2050, 2055, we will be in the same position. We will suffer. And therefore, today you have the demographic dividend, which means that the younger generation is higher. So a leadership which is used to handling people who are aged cannot be the same leadership for people who are young. A person who is 20, 25, 30 doesn't think, doesn't behave, doesn't aspire the same way a person of 50 or 60 does. And that makes a challenge for leadership. Urbanization. Now you'll find that one of the problems India is having today is the urbanization. You will hardly find people for agriculture work. There are hardly anybody coming forward in rural areas, in villages, in smaller towns to take care of agriculture. That is one of the problems India is having. If you look at our total economy, you will find that probably the service sector, if you divide the entire GDP into three parts, agriculture, manufacturing, and service sector, you will find service sector is contributing higher and higher. Almost 60%, 65% comes from the service sector. About 25% comes from manufacturing sector. Just about 10 to 15% is coming from agricultural sector. This is a clear decline from India being referred to as purely an agrarian society. We have come far away from being an agrarian economy. And then you have this concept of Indian culture. In fact, very often I have a good laughter when somebody talks to me about Indian culture. I often wonder, what is this Indian culture? We have 29 states. We have different food habits. We have different ways of dressing. We have different languages. Every aspect of our culture, so-called culture, is different. A Tamil Nadu person, a Tamilan, is not the same as a Gujarati. A Gujarati is not the same as a Bihari. A Bihari is not the same as Assamese. Assamese is not the same as a Keralite, Malayali. And therefore, you will find that we have 29 different cultures. And what is this Indian culture that everybody talks about? I often wonder, what makes Indian culture? I've never understood that. And this socio-cultural scenario is going to pose a serious challenge, in my view, to leadership. Now, when I at this point of time, I must clarify to everyone that when I say leadership, I do not mean leadership in a specific sector. I'm not talking about business leadership. I'm not talking about religious leadership or a political leadership. I'm talking about leadership in general that can apply to any organization. It can be a political organization. It can be a religious organization. It can be a social organization. It can be a business organization. It can be, a community organization. It can be any organization. So any leadership will face tremendous challenge on account of the socio-cultural changes which are happening in our country. And lastly, the technological scenario. Of course, all of us are aware of this because all of us are impacted by this in our day-to-day life. Whether you talk about information technology, communication technology, mobile technology, social media. Now, all of us, for example, we were communicating through WhatsApp. Did we have WhatsApp 5 years ago? How did we communicate? Today, everybody is communicating on WhatsApp. Today, everybody is talking about information technology, mobile technology. In fact, we often wonder, what were we doing when we did not have a mobile phone? There was a time in India, even as late as 1980s, where we had to book a trunk call. We didn't have STD, we didn't have ISTD, we didn't have direct dialing. We had to book a call to the telephone operator. And that is what we used to do. We had to wait for a car. For example, I remember Bajaj scooters and things like that. The waiting list was almost 5 years. You book a scooter and then you wait for probably 5 years. And people used to make a lot of money by selling that coupon, the allotment coupon. They used to sell and make money. We have come a long, long way in terms of technology from all that. For example, over 5 billion people in the world are connected to the internet. Now, we have a total population today of something close to about 8 billion people. Almost 60% of that is covered by the internet. China is ranked 1 billion. India has about 680 million people, and so on. And 4.7 billion people are on social media, whether you talk about Facebook or you talk about Instagram, TikTok, whatever you talk about, Twitter, LinkedIn. There are 4.7 billion people on that. There are 5.3 billion people who are mobile users. All these figures are as of 2022, published data. And the retail e-commerce is 5,500 billion, which is 5.5 trillion, which is almost double of India's GDP. That is the retail e-commerce. You talk about Amazon, or you talk about Flipkart, or you talk about any of these e-commerce people. That business is worth something close to about $5.5 trillion. And this is the impact of technology. And therefore, all of us have to think, if there has been a change in political scenario, in economic scenario, in social scenario, in technological scenario, is it not to be expected that there will be lots and lots of challenges for leadership? How can leadership be isolated or insulated from the environmental changes happening around us? That becomes the major question. And therefore, at this point of time, I just want to make a point that because of the changes happening in our environment, political, economic, socio-cultural, and technological changes, there is an impact on leadership. This is the point I was trying to build so far. I hope all of you would agree on that. And therefore, my question will be, there is changing demography, there is changing aspiration, there are changing values, there is changing technology, in short. And therefore, what is the changing paradigm? In my view, the changing paradigm will be competition, as we knew it earlier, is giving way to collaboration. The future is collaboration, not competition. Being reactive is being replaced by being proactive. You need to be able to anticipate change and initiate action to embrace change. You cannot just react. You need to be proactive. You need to anticipate and then take action. There is nothing called authority. I'm sure all of you also realize that even at home, there is nothing called authority. You know, a father controlling just because he is the father, that day is gone. You can't control your children. When I say control, I mean quote unquote the word control. You can only motivate, you can only inspire. You can make them emulate the good practices. You can never control. That word authority is gone, whether it is at home or in the office. Just because you are the general manager, just because you are the head of the department, no one is going to respect you. They will only respect you, they will obey you, they will do what you want them to do, only if they realize that you have the power of the knowledge. The knowledge, the competence, the skill, if you have, they will respect you for that and they will follow you as a leader, not because of your authority. And individuals, they do matter, but they have to go through the cycle of being a team member and then become an individual. So you are coming as an individual after your graduation as a student. You join in any organization, you will be a member of a team. How well you get along in the team, how well you accomplish your goals, your objectives, your strategies, that will determine what kind of an individual you become later as a leader. So this is what is the changing paradigm. in my view. And therefore, if this is the change of paradigm, if all of us accept that this is the change that is going to happen, the aspirations are going to change, the authority is going to be replaced by knowledge and power, the individuals will only become individuals who are respected after they are effective team players. If we accept all that, what about tomorrow? And this is what I believe. I believe that it is all here. It is in the mind. It is the mindset that matters. The mindset. The mindset of the individual will determine what is leadership. And therefore, if you want to nurture and develop leadership, you must embrace change. And you must adapt yourself. In fact, if you look at my WhatsApp byline, you will see adapt or become extinct. You need to adapt yourself to change. You cannot say, I'm 70 years old, I'm 65 years old, and therefore it doesn't apply to me. No. It applies to every one of you. And therefore, you need to learn to adapt yourself to the change if you want to be an effective leader. And therefore, what should these leaders be doing in the future? That becomes a question. And I've got a set of recommendations. One recommendation is that you must set a vision. All of us know, I don't know whether you have heard of the book called Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland is a book for children. It's a children's bedtime story, Alice in Wonderland. I have found it personally the best management book ever written. It's a children's study bedtime story book, but one of the best management books. In that, there is a scene where Alice is, she's a young girl, small girl, and she is lost in the jungle. So she's just wandering about, and she comes across a fork on the road, a fork like this. She doesn't know whether to go left or right. And she looks up. There's a Cheshire cat sitting on the top of the tree. So she's asking the Cheshire cat, please tell me, should I go left or right? And the Cheshire cat is a very intelligent cat. It says, Alice, where do you want to go? So Alice says, I don't know. So the Cheshire cat replies, if you don't know where you want to go, does it really matter whether you take left or right? What a brilliant answer. If you don't know where you want to go, does it really matter whether you go left or you go right? That is what this vision is all about. You must set a vision. You must set a direction. You must know where you want to go, what you want to be. Every one of you should ask yourself, if I'm 30 today, when I'm 50, what do I want to be? Question should come. It is called the vision. So you must have, you can call it goal, you can call it objective, you can call it whatever you want. I don't mind. But there must be something that you look forward to as a leader. If you don't have that, whatever you do is immaterial. Whatever you do becomes irrelevant. Second, set values. These are the values. I will not sway away from this. This is my value. Value means can be as simple as I respect elders. It can be a value. I respect customers. Yes, that can be a value. Now, all your ethics and your faiths and your principles, whatever you call it, are all branches coming from this value. Value is like the trunk of a tree. You will only say the tree has fallen if the trunk has fallen, not if the leaf has fallen or not if the fruit has fallen. You will only say the tree has fallen when the trunk has fallen. The value is the trunk of the tree. And therefore, you must have a set of values which are uncompromisable. Come what may, I should stick to these values. That is my second advice. The third, spend time, nurture, build, develop, grow teams. Because individuals do not make an organization. Teams make the organization. Build teams and realize that every individual has a different personality. Every individual is different. You know, we study the personality types. Everyone is different. Learn to respect the difference. Learn to accept the difference. You may not agree with it. That's okay. But learn to accept the difference in personality. Be a boundaryless thinker. Your thinking in today's world has to be boundaryless. There is no boundary. Don't limit yourself to thinking like a Tamilian or a Karnataka, Kannadiga or Malayali or Oriya. No. You are a global citizen. Think large, think big, think without boundary. Today you are living in a world, thanks to technology, for example. Time difference doesn't make any difference. All of us are able to communicate. So there is no boundary, whether you talk about geographical boundary, cultural boundary, time boundary, there's nothing. There's no boundary at all. And think sustainability. Because all of us should remember that we came into earth carrying nothing. We will go back carrying nothing. There is a planet. We are tenants. We are paying rent for our stay. We need to care for the planet. We need to care for the future. And therefore, it has to be long-term. Persevere. Continuously. Don't give up. This is what the leaders have to do. Leaders cannot afford to give up. And therefore, this is what I would recommend. If you are a leader of an organization, continuously have a vision, communicate that again and again and again and again. Repeat that. Symbolize that. Create symbols within the organization. Think differently. Be creative. And accept that the purpose for which we do anything is above ourselves. That realization is very critical for leadership. And therefore, if you ask me what is the leadership challenge that is coming because of this change, we are in a world today which is complex, which cannot be predicted, which is uncertain. The only thing that is certain is I, as a leader, will have a vision, will have a purpose which is larger than myself. I will have a set of values. I will communicate. I will think large. I will think big. And I will be agile. I will embrace change. I will not wait for the change to overwhelm me. I will embrace the change. I will accept the change, and I will act proactively. And that is what we should be doing as leader. I'll stop at this. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'll take questions. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Actually, there are 3 people responded so far.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. George Joseph is asking the question that technology should be seen as an enabler or challenge for the leader.
In my view, technology is a challenge, not because of the leader himself, because of the expectations. Technology changes the expectations. It changes the aspirations of people. And as a leader, you are expected to respond to the aspirations, respond to the expectations of people. And therefore, technology eventually will become a challenge for the leader. That is my view. Technology is an enabler. Yes, it is certainly an enabler. But because it enables the people to aspire more, that becomes a challenge for the leader.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The second question is from Dr. Sudhanshu Dubey. Dr. Sudhanshu is asking how to set these values.
Sorry,
Because
how
values are like Trump, you said.
Yes.
He is asking how to set these values, setting the values.
Okay. I will give you an example. A tree has 3 major parts. One is below the ground, and we call it the root of the tree. The center is what we call the trunk of the tree. And on the top, you have the branches, and you have the leaves, and you have fruits and everything. That is the third part. All of us have the roots from our parents, our close relatives, the close family. We have a set of faith, a set of belief, which is not yours, which is given to you by your family, by your parents, by your close relatives, etc. They give you the faith and the belief. When you grow and when you become 20, 25, 30 years of age, you have gone through your own set of experiences. And based on that, so the values are a combination of your own experiences and the faiths and beliefs of your parents and close relatives. Put together, you develop a set of values. For example, when I say, I will be on time, come what may. All right? I will never say I got held up because of the bus, or I got held up because of this or that, something. No, I plan. Now that is a value for me. For me, it doesn't have to be the same for everybody. It is, for me, it is a personal value. Like that, you can have any value. The definition of value is, it is something which is uncompromisable. You do not compromise, come what may. The key word is come what may. That is the key word.
Perfect, sir. Amazing, amazing. Sir, one more question from Dr. Sindhu. She is asking how the VUCA prime can be improved to tackle VUCA. VUCA prime can be, how it can be improved?
No, VUCA, what can be improved?
To tackle VUCA, the current VUCA.
Very, very simple. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make it very simple. I mean, the answer is complicated, but I want to make it very simple. My simple advice is embrace change. Do not fight against it. Now, for example, I know many of my colleagues with whom I work, they resist change. Don't do that. There is a change. Accept it. I have heard many people saying the youngsters, they don't have values, they don't have attention span, they don't have this, they don't have that. All that I've heard a number of people talking. My answer is, don't fight. Accept that change and ask yourself, can I change? Simple solution. Can I change? Can I be proactive? Can I embrace the change happening around me? I'm not asking you to agree with the change. Please, I want all of you to realize there is a difference between acceptance and agreement. I'm not asking you to agree. If you want, you can agree. If you don't want, you don't have to agree. But accept that there is a change. Don't question it. Don't challenge it. Embrace the change and act accordingly. That is the best way to handle VUCA world.
Perfect, sir. Perfect. I really appreciate. I also agree with you, sir. 100%. And another question from Dr. Parvati Yadav. She is asking how to encourage youth of today as per knowledge, proactive collaboration in terms of better future in agriculture area too. Because many people are ignoring agriculture. You also mentioned in the initial remarks that not more than 10 to 15% are depending on agriculture. So her concern is how to bring the youth onto agriculture.
The best way is to teach them that the service sector, it may look very attractive in terms of salary and so on and so forth. Ultimately, the question is, if you do not have rice or wheat or something to eat, none of these will work. Eventually, you need rice and wheat to eat. Somebody has to do agriculture.
Fortunately, the production and productivity also increases, sir, agriculture.
Yes, it has increased. It has increased. You have become self-sufficient as a nation in many things. But yes, agriculture labor, even today, is suffering.
Correct. And another is not a question, sir, but it is like a complimenting. Professor Josna is saying that challenge is no doubt to change the mindset, but we must also take into cognizance the speed at which the changes are happening. Have to be agile and adopt. Example, challenge of remote working and changes in consumer behavior, etc. These are all the statements giving like complementary to your talk, sir.
Thank
Do we
you.
agree, sir? Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that completely. And, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Sir. Yes, sir. And one more question from Shantanu Kumar Sahu. How to face the challenges that have been raised in terms of mass layoffs due to technological advancements?
I've said this already. The way, this is the way I work, this is the way I live, this is the way I do things. I don't challenge or question or defy others. In management and leadership, we always study. There is something called focused on self, what we can do, and focus on others, what they should do or what they can do. My suggestion as a leader is, do not focus on that. Focus on yourself. What can I do to change? What can I do? Do something. For example, you talk about plastic wastage. Ask yourself the question, what can I do? Forget about the society. Don't say My neighbor doesn't do this, or somebody else doesn't do this, the corporation doesn't do it, municipality doesn't do that. Forget about all that. Ask yourself, what can I do? And that is the mark of a leader. Right from Gandhi to maybe Muhammad Ali Jinnah, or you talk about Nelson Mandela, you talk about John F. Kennedy, you talk about anybody who you think is a leader, you will find that they always ask this question, what can I do? Every one of them made a difference in this world. And the answer is, what can I do?
Yes, sir. One more question from, the name is not mentioned here. Every day, I think, we motivate, but electronic gadgets dilute their vision and how to manage.
No. I said, don't give up, persevere. Failure is a part of leadership. Failure is a part of leadership. In fact, if you know, I don't know how many of you saw that movie Gandhi, 1982 Richard Attenborough movie. In that movie, there is one scene where Nehru comes and tells Gandhi, about a violence. Some people have burnt a police station and one policeman has been killed. So Nehru comes to the prison and tells Gandhi one incident. Gandhi's reply is, go and tell that to the wife of that policeman who died. Because for her, he is everything. He is not one. You are making it appear as if it is one policeman died. No, for her, he is 100%. Everything is he. Okay? Yeah. And he says, and Gandhi says, probably the time is not right. That's what he says. Probably the time is not right. India is not ready for ahimsa or satyagraha. They are not ready. This is the feeling. So the leader doesn't give up. When the reporter asked him the question, will India get a freedom? His answer was, it's not a question of will India get. It is a question of when. Not will.
Yes, sir.
If.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And another question from Dr. Subhangi. She is asking, in terms of values and ethics, it's becoming very difficult in leadership.
Absolutely.
What can we do? Because, staying...
Hold on to your values. Hold on to your values. Hold on to your ethics. Let others... See, don't worry about others. You stand. You are the leader. You stand straight. Forget about others. Don't worry about what others do or others don't do. One of the problems of leadership, Professor Prasada Rao, one of the problems is we always think about what others should be doing. My question is, forget about that. You stand straight. You set an example. One of the things that leaders should do is to set examples. You must set personal examples as a leader.
Agree with you, sir. 100% agree with you. Of course, it is very difficult to...
Very difficult. Very, very difficult. Extremely difficult.
Yes, sir. Very difficult.
Thank you.
And friends, sir, really, we are very grateful to you for giving fantastic, wonderful gyan. And you have touched upon almost all the dimensions, sir. Starting from political, economic, socio-cultural, technological. See, not only mentioning the dimensions, but you have provided some solutions. How we can meet these challenges, or these changing times. How we should be prepared to meet the challenges or changes. That's a fantastic, very, very illustrious session today, sir, we had. And we are also very happy to have wonderful professionals, including Professor Narayan Reddy Garu. He is the Regional Vice President of Association of Indian Management Schools with us today. I think he doesn't have access to speak. Yeah. We are really grateful to you, sir. Balaji, you are ultimate. You have shared your vision. You have shared your thoughts. You have shared your fantastic knowledge. In fact, your experience and your expertise in a bundle. Yeah, it's a bundle. We can watch this presentation n number of times to draw several conclusions from the topic, sir. Really, we are very, very happy. And I'm also thankful to the Association of Indian Management Schools, the President, Dr. Nandagopal, the Treasurer, Professor Parag, and Regional Vice Presidents, including Professor Narayan Reddy Garu, and other Executive Board members, and various deans, directors of various schools, business schools in India, and some of them are also abroad. Really very happy to have you with us today. Very excited and very exemplary and very, very useful and thoughtful presentation, sir. And thank you so much. Thank you all the participants.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. I thank all the participants also for making this session fantastic and very, very, participative. This is the first time I could get several questions, sir. So many questions, so many complimentary, and many people are still complimenting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaskar, everyone. Thank you so much.
Namaskar.
Yes.